Now, we're looking a little more at some of the other ways that you can move forward towards your goals by improving your health and fitness and maybe making a start on your love life. And it's useful at this juncture to point out that it often makes sense to do as many of these things as possible. While we did say that you should have some kind of focus on your objectives, it's also important to recognize the interconnected nature of your life and how hard it is to approach any aspect of your lifestyle in isolation. What do we mean by this? Well, let's take getting into shape as an example. If you want to get into great shape and build lots of muscle, then you may be thinking about starting a new training regime by working out 4 times a week. That's great. But if that's all you're planning, then it also won't work. Why? Because, well, think about it. Right now, you probably come home from work and feel exhausted. And that's probably the reason why you're not already in great shape. You're probably pushed for time and have a ton of commitments, and your work likely stresses you out. And now you think you're going to add 4 hours of intense exercise on top of that? And not only that, but you'll probably need to travel to and from the gym, and you're also going to need to shower. It just won't work, and most likely you'll give up by week 2. This is what happens to countless people. One solution is to work out the right way and to train in a way that enables you to get the most benefit from the minimal work. Fitting your training in around your lifestyle also helps. Train in the morning, for instance, and you might only need 1 shower. But a better strategy? That's just to change everything. Changing everything means that you're going to look at how you can get more time in your evenings. Now, this may mean finding a better way to commute, working from home some days, discuss this with your boss, changing jobs, quitting one of your after-work activities, going to bed a little later and lying in a little longer, saying no to friends occasionally. In other words, it's prioritizing again. It's making space in your life for this training that you hope to do. Meanwhile, you'll also want to combat the tiredness. That might mean improving the quality of your sleep, a new bed, reducing stress, at work perhaps, or by keeping your home tidier, getting more vitamins and minerals in your diet. You'll also find that creating a space to work out at home makes a difference, which means that you'll need to do some home improvement as well. As you can see then, you're no longer just changing one thing, you're changing everything. This doesn't just apply to fitness and exercise. If you want to do better in your career, then changing everything makes sense too. Being in better shape will help with your career by making you more confident and more physically imposing. Dressing better will help with your career. Having more energy certainly will. Here you can consider the law of attraction. This states that like attracts like, and that if you act in a certain way, your life will change to match. Act confident, dress well, look great, and people start taking you more seriously. Thus you start to get given more responsibility and your career improves. Again, it pays to make changes in all areas of your life in order to facilitate improvement across the board. If you're the cynical type, then at this stage you might be wondering how precisely you're supposed to go ahead and change everything. It's not exactly straightforward. Well, one answer is to employ a technique called Kaizen. Essentially, Kaizen means making lots of small changes in order to add up to big differences in your life. Kind of like the way you bring down a great oak with lots of small chops, or how you can walk 100 miles by taking a lot of small steps. In this scenario, though, we're talking about making lots of small tweaks to your lifestyle and current situation in order to achieve massive things across the board. For instance, making your bed in the morning is a great little change you can make that will go a long way. Why? Because you'll feel much more organized and much better when you come home to a clean bed, and this makes you feel more productive. It's also a great exercise in self-discipline, and if you can do this one thing, then you'll find it's much easier to stick to your other goals. Cutting out the coffee to save money is an example of Kaizen too. What other small changes could you make? As we're going to bed 10 minutes earlier be? 10 minutes is nothing, but it's over an hour more sleep every week. How about investing in a robotic vacuum cleaner? A small thing for sure, but it makes a big difference when it means your home no longer looks dusty and you never have to waste time on cleaning.